Hello and welcome back. Today I wanted to do a review of the Vader's Vault Wrath. Now before I get too far, I wanted to make a clarifying point. The Vader's Vault Wrath that you get as a new model doesn't look like this anymore. This is the older model that Vader's Vault has started to occasionally sell as an empty hilt. Now I was fairly excited when I saw that Vader's Vault was starting to sell empties, because Vader's Vault sabers are very expensive. They're good sabers, they're well designed, and the installs are almost a work of art sometimes, but that install comes with a hefty price tag. The fact that they started to sell empties brings the saber hilt design down into a reasonable price range, which is kind of a cool thing to have happen. The catch is that it's their older models that they're getting rid of. The newer Wraths have these little light-up tactile buttons and all these other fancy things, but the basic hilt design is the same. So I wanted to, I picked this one up and I wanted to talk a little bit about the hilt design, because the Wrath has always struck me as one of their better offerings. The Wrath, the Tempest, and the Vanquish, I think, are the close runner-up. The Legionnaire, I think, are my favorite offerings that Vader's Vault has come out with. This one is a very violent-looking saber that I've seen some highly successful etches on. Most of them dealing with, like, this just screams Sauron from Lord of the Rings. So I've seen a lot of people etch this thing with Sauron from Lord of the Rings motifs. But the Wrath features a three-part design. The pommel is removable. Threading is very well machined. You don't hear it screaming at me as I take this off, but the pommel is removable. It's got a nice patterned vent there with some angles in it. Okay, the grip section is removable as well. The general design had an aux button in the back and a power button in the front. That was their old electronic style. But the grip section unscrews here, and then this whole thing is the emitter. I'm not going to unscrew the grip because of the install that I've got in here, but I'll talk about that in just a second. So it's a very aggressive looking, very nicely designed saber, and I've always kind of been in love with this aesthetic. The only thing about it, when I saw it, I always anticipated that it would probably be super sharp, and it is. These angles right here on the emitter are sharp. These angles right up, or sorry, on the pommel are sharp. These angles right up here, right above where you would ideally use it. I like to use sabers from up here. You wouldn't want to use this one from up here because a lot of these angles are sharp. It's designed to be used from down here. So it's not really a flipping saber, or a saber for flipping and tosses. It's more of a dueling saber, a cosplay saber, or a display saber. This area is comfortable to grip. It's nice and beveled like it's supposed to be. This area is all kinds of sharp. It's sharp around these grooves, it's sharp up here, it's sharp on these corners down here. So it's an aggressive looking saber, and it's a dangerous saber to use. I've always kind of wished that Vader's Vault did a little bit of a better job beveling things, but it is what it is, and it's definitely pretty. The thing about their install, or their empties when they sell them, interestingly enough, the internal diameter of Vader's Vault sabers is the same as a blade, most of them. There's not much uniform about them, but most of them, that's the same as a blade, which means that installs like LGT cores or removable chassis from vendors like TXQ or LGT will fit in these, and that's what I did with this. Instead of getting a chassis and wiring this thing all up, all I did was slide in. I've got it on mute right now, so it's not taking over the sound, but all I did was slide in an LGT core, and I used the set screw up here for the LED unit and the aux button to secure it in there. So this is just an LGT core secured with this set screw, which reaches the core, and with the aux button right here so that it doesn't slide out. It does mean that I have to reach in a little bit further to get to the button, but I've got these nails for a reason. So that's fairly straightforward, no nonsense, quick and dirty way to get an install on a Vader's Vault. And the fact that they've started offering empties allows you to do that, which I do kind of like, because it means that I can find a unicorn design without having to pay fantasy castle prices. So here it is, the Vader's Vault Wrath. Glad I finally got a hold of one of these things. If you're looking for all the bells and whistles, the new models and their tactile switches and everything, they look fantastic. But again, if it's this is not a particularly usable saber because of all the sharp edges, so this is going to be a shelf queen. So if all I needed to do is light up occasionally, budget electronics inside of it works fine for that. All right, Vader's Vault Wrath Parts Edition V1. Hopefully this review has been of use to you. If it has, join me back for more, and I'll see you then.